What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Film Junkee Live. Here we go. How's everybody doing, huh? Hopefully doing well. Sorry I'm late, because I tried to do that thing like on Monday. What did I say I was going to do? I was going to reboot my modem and my router and all this kind of stuff, and then of course, the router doesn't want to link up. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So the router was like being a little stingy, so hopefully we'll be doing good today. Anyways, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that like, thumbs up, become a member, because we do a members only stream after every Wednesday stream, so you can pick my brain a little bit more. You know, might have some tea when it comes to that I won't say live. But and happy Wine Wednesday, everybody. Cheers. Poured some wine in my Batman glass that has the receipts sticker right on the bottom. That's right. Forgot to take it off. Now it's just on there after many washes in the dishwasher. Anyways, how are we doing out there? Let's go. Let's see who's out there right now. All right. Let's see. We got Mr. Ryan right here. Good to see you, bud. We got Jason. What's going on? Fear Jason. Good to see you, buddy. All right. And who else we got? We got Taladia Plays. Lisa, how's it going, darling? Good to see you. Always great to see you. We got Super Godzilla X Vlogs. The Penguin TV show going to be great as the Batman movie. Okay. You know what? I hope you're correct, and I think it will be too. We got Ninja Gamer 13 right here. Remember 5 years? Wait, BW Matt's deal to direct the Batman and its release. Probably shouldn't be surprised by 4.5 years between Part 2's announcement and release, especially while working on 3 shows. Yeah, Matt. I mean, the good thing is like, you know, even though it's taken a little bit, hey, we're getting a show, and we're getting Part 2. So, what's going on, Eric Patterson? Good to see you, bud. We got Eric right here. Rock on. Yeah, here's the good internet. Hopefully, Mr. Nobody, who would be interested to see Ray Nicholson as Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern? Well, I have to see Ray Nicholson in something first. I meant to look at his IMDb and see what else he's been in, but I know he's going to be in that Smile movie because he was part of the poster. So, what's going on, Axel? Good to see you, buddy. We got Braden right here. My fan casting for Hal Jordan would be Jensen Ackles or Bradley Cooper. Okay. Well, Jensen Ackles has been always, you know, he's always been Batman. He's always been fan cast as Batman. A lot of people have done, you know, said Bradley Cooper too, and I think at one point maybe, but I don't think Bradley Cooper would want to do that either. What's going on, Mr. Belga? What is happening? Sorry, I'm just adjusting that. Good evening. With the Penguin releasing next week, what are some of your predictions for what will happen in the show? And what is one crazy hope that you wish will happen but probably won't? I want Batman to show up just for a little bit, or Bruce Wayne. Now, but predictions is it's going to be dark. It's going to be very mature, R-rated, and we're going to see some cliffhangers. For sure, but I mean, there's, obviously we're going to have, with everything that's, I don't know, like I haven't really thought about predictions, to be honest. So we might have to discuss that on the vodka stream. Might have to think about that a little bit. So, hey, what's going on, Jose? Good to see you. Happy hump day. Let's see, Eric Patterson, how's your weekend and your project coming along? Going pretty good. It's going good. I don't know if you're talking to me. What's going on, Cortez? My main concerns is how will the Lanterns' costumes look? Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, there's a lot of things when it comes to that. But I think the costumes we're definitely going to look, you know, they'll look good. I think they'll look pretty good, to be honest. It's just my prediction. I think they'll look pretty good. So we'll see, though. We'll see. What's going on? We got Nicotina right here, too. Good to see you, buddy. And then Mr. Member right here, Ryan Reynolds says, how? Do it, cowards. Well, I mean, there's a certain individual who wanted to do it, who would probably brought him back, but yeah, that definitely ain't happening. But, I like where your head's at, Jose. I like where your head's at, so. But, it is interesting. It is interesting. So, anyways, guys, appreciate you. Hopefully, you guys are doing okay with all the madness. All the madness when it comes to the timeline and everything. It's just been all crazy. It's been crazy here in California. If you live in Southern California, today was okay, but the past 2 days look straight out of the apocalypse. Okay, so I kind of talked about this a little bit on Monday's show, but not too much, because I tell you what, in Southern California right now, from the weekend, now it's actually okay because the temperature is finally going down, first off. But it was very much looking like the apocalypse yesterday. Yesterday was a weird day. It was so weird because there are fires. There are wildfires that are happening like crazy in Southern California, which definitely happens. So we had some fires. And I'm like caught in between the fires. I'm like not caught in between like I'm close to them, but just where the smoke goes. So there's a fire that way, fire this way. And so yesterday it was just, everything was orange. There was like a haze. You could look directly at the sun and be okay. There was like this weird haze. It was hot. Over the weekend we had this crazy heat wave, which didn't help when it came to the fires. We had a random thunderstorm that just came out of nowhere. And there was also an earthquake that happened over the weekend too. I was telling a coworker this, and he was just like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, California is just was looking like the apocalypse, big time. So a lot of things happening in California and stuff like that, but it's okay. Everything's looking better now. I think they got some of the fire contained. It doesn't look as bad out there. Not to mention, you get out there, your lungs are going to start hurting because it's like unbreathable out there. Just absolutely insane. And, but hey, the whole country's going insane, right? Because, it's a complete clown show what's happening when it comes to all the politics stuff. All the stuff. Obviously there was the big debate last night, which, basically the way I tweeted out when it came to the debates, whoever you're voting for won the debate. Cheers. That's what it is. Yeah, whoever you want to won the debate last night. That's just the way it is now. It's very hard to find somebody to be like, oh yeah, Trump made a good point right there. Oh yeah, Kamala made a good point right there. You rarely see that if you're scrolling on your Twitter. If you know where everybody's already leaning, you already know that it's like, oh yeah, it's the way. I don't even know why there's even debates anymore. It's a waste of time. It totally is a waste of time. It's like, why are we even doing this? It's just you got two people up there that are trying to win fucking brownie points for the internet. It seemed like it's like, Jesus Christ, Trump's talking. Yeah, they're eating animals. And then you got Kamala just going, I didn't say that. It's all a mess. So, it's just a big shit show. We're living in a simulation, everybody. That's what's happening. But I will say this, okay, anybody who's a conservative out there, did you actually really think that Taylor Swift was going to endorse Trump? I saw a lot of that, where I saw people on the conservative side thinking that Taylor Swift was going to endorse Trump. And I went, are you kidding me? There's no way in hell she was. And then, of course, she came out today endorsing Kamala, and it's just like, okay, yeah, who actually thought that was actually going to be the case? Seriously? And I'm just like, I don't know. It was just kind of like a funny thing. I don't know. Like, in what world is Taylor Swift going to endorse Donald Trump? And I will say that there are more people in the entertainment industry who are endorsing him now, which I'm like, good on you. You got balls for doing that, because back in like 2016 and even 2020, nobody was in the entertainment industry, but they are now. But yeah, it's just all crazy stuff. But it was just kind of funny when that all happened, because I remember seeing a lot of like conservative types thinking that she might, and I was like, no, that ain't gonna ever happen. Are you kidding me here? But anyways, guys, enough with that. Who wants to talk about politics? Boo, boo. Politics suck. let's talk about some movie stuff, and let's talk about all this stuff right here. Let's talk about all this right. All right. Let's first off, well, it's kind of funny because the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to the tweets is, of course, the very first trailer for The Apprentice starring Sebastian Stan. Did you guys see this right here? And it's kind of funny, I'm not going to play the full trailer right here, but it is, oh crap, I forgot to change the background. But it is kind of funny. It is kind of funny because Sebastian Stan is doing like a younger Trump, right? And when you hear him talk, he's not doing like an overly, done Trump like impression. He's doing just enough, and that's good.
You're brutal. Guilty as charged.
It's good for a biopic because you don't want to overdo it.
The first rule is attack, attack, attack. It's going to be the finest building in the city, maybe the country, in the world.
See, he's not doing like obviously Trump got more Trumpy as he got older, but it is kind of funny because he's doing just enough. He's doing just enough when it comes to his Trump kind of an impression. I'll watch the movie. I'll see what it's all about. It's just kind of funny that the guy who played Tommy Lee in a Hulu series about the Tommy Lee and Pamela sex tape is now playing Trump in a new movie. It's just kind of funny how that is. So it's interesting. But yeah, I forgot to change the background. Hold on a sec. Gotta change the background. I forget every now and again. But yeah, I just thought that was just kind of funny because I'm like, yeah, if you're doing a biopic, and he's doing young Trump, obviously, but when you're doing a biopic, you can't just do like an exaggerated impression. You can't do an exaggerated impression of who you're doing. Like I remember, and I don't even know if it's still happening or if it ever is going to happen, but remember like Jamie Foxx was supposed to play Mike Tyson, right? Jamie Foxx was supposed to play Mike Tyson. I don't know what happened to that. I remember like Jamie Foxx getting like into serious shape for it. Whatever even happened to that? Is that still coming out? I don't know. But it was just like one of those things where it's like he can't just do like this comedic over-the-top impression of Mike Tyson. You can't do that because no one's going to take it seriously. You have to dumb it down a little bit and make the person sound real. Just like Sebastian Stan couldn't do like the super like, the Trumpisms right now because that would just, nobody would actually take that seriously. Whoops, hold on. Waiting for this. But yeah, so if he was like gonna just like dive into doing all this stuff, it's terrific, absolutely terrific, best movie ever. Yeah, it's not gonna, it's just not gonna work. It's just definitely not gonna work. So, anyways, all right. So enough about that. But that, looks good. I like Sebastian Stan, and I like the fact that that he's doing stuff like this. So it's good stuff. It's good. Oh, you gotta love it too, guys. You gotta love it. You absolutely gotta love it. And I feel like I'm actually doing a trumpet. Yeah, you gotta love it. Gotta love it. Absolutely love it. No, but so okay, stop. Especially this specific scooper, because the dude's an asshole, and I've said that so many times. Arrogant asshole. But you got to stop believing all these scoopers. But at the same time, sometimes you got to be wary because maybe they've gotten some good information and we just aren't going to know. But so this came out right here, and it got some people worried. And sadly, we've reached the point when it comes to when people start reading tweets, and they start reading tweets from certain Twitter handles that are entertainment-based, movie-based, and whatever, and they just take it at face value. They don't even consider the source. But this is what was being thrown around. This was being thrown around late on Monday. Sony reportedly scrapped most of Beyond the Spider-Verse for creative reasons. The film is unlikely to release before 2027. And yes, you could see the source right there, the Snyder. So then naturally we had the composer come out and say, hey, this is absolutely wrong. The composer of the film don't really ever want to weigh in on this sort of stuff, but would you ever believe there could sometimes be stuff on the internet that might not always be particularly accurate? Chris Miller, let's see, right here. Chris Miller, of course, who's one of the directors for it. Where's his tweet? Where's his tweet? There it is. Chris Miller right here said, nothing has been scrapped. The reels are coming along nicely. So even one of the directors, let's see, get back. One of the directors even came out and said, hey, yeah, it's also BS. So I'm going to take their word at face value more than this idiot over here. And then, of course, instead of just being like, hey, it's just what I heard, I'll maybe retract or I'll just back off. No, this particular scooper he doubles down and just like pushes back against it because he's that fucking arrogant. And that's what I hate. I hate it. I don't like scoopers altogether, but an arrogant one is even worse. So I wouldn't even say that too, because why would they scrap so much of that? Why would they scrap so much? I mean, I get it, Sony, but why would they scrap something that takes years to make? This is animation that takes years to make. They can't just do reshoots. Why would they actually do this? Especially when the first two movies have been so killer and stellar and everybody's like, oh my God, can't wait for Beyond the Spider-Verse. Why would they actually do that? So I'm going to take them at face value. Just saying. Just saying, and that's it. That's it on that. Because, good Lord, I mean, that particular scooper, good Lord, ugh. And then I love this right here because obviously we lost a legend that is I almost said something else. James Earl Jones, sorry. But I love this image right here from The Sandlot. That's right. He was Mr. Myrtle in The Sandlot, which was fantastic right here. And there he is with the entire group right there. And it was one of my all-time favorite movies. All-time favorite movies. And it's just a cool image right there. They're all trying to look badass. And even Jones is trying to look like a badass. And he is a badass, man. And it's just so great. I just love that image right there. Saw that on my feed. I was like, yes. Yes. Also saw this on my feed. Saw this on my Twitter feed and I went, all right, interesting. Because, when it comes to the Snyderverse and when Justice League was coming out in 2017, and I remember like leading up to it, I tried my best to basically be like, okay, none of the things that are coming out that are scoops that are about this movie when it came to the Cavill mustache and it came to the reshoots and stuff, I tried my best to be like, no, it can't be true. This is not true. There's a lot of things not true. And then, of course, the whole Joss Whedon thing and blah, blah, blah. I tried to be like, this can't be true. But then, of course, alas, a lot of it ended up being true. And I saw this tweet right here of this person named Supernova that said, these were good times. And, of course, it shows this image right here of the cast on the press tour right there, the entire cast. And yes, they all got smiles on their faces. And yes, they were having a good time. But they weren't good times because sadly, the person who was making the entire thing was not a part of that press tour for really terrible reasons. First off, the reasons of getting basically ousted from his job. And then, of course, the tragedy that his family, of course, had to endure during all this. So just a rough time right there. Not to mention Ben Affleck was having a rough time too because he was, drinking during this time. But, obviously it looked all fine and dandy, but it was not entirely good times back then. I think it was good times for us leading to it because we're all excited for the movie. But then we all realized, holy shit, that's not what we were supposed to get right there. So, yeah, not entirely good times. But, that photo right there looked like good times. At least. Yeah, that was a good photo. It's a good group photo right there of them. So I'll give it that at least. But, man, talk about just interesting. It was interesting times. Interesting times. Because I think I told you guys, too. I don't know if it was last week or if it was Monday. Maybe it happened over the weekend. I don't know. But When it came, I had like people in my mentions because, you know, I'm saying, I keep on saying that, you know, the whole sell the SpiderVerse to Netflix is just not going to happen. It's a stupid idea that got conjured up, and I don't even know why it did, because it's just like, what are you guys thinking? This is not the same situation as release a Snyder Cut. So when I had some people in my mentions kind of go like, oh, you don't think that will happen? You know, I'm like, no, because it's just not the same thing. And then, of course, I had people say like, oh, yeah, you said the Snyder Cut wasn't a thing. We're not going to believe you because you said the Snyder Cut didn't exist. And I'm like, where the fuck did I actually say that? And I remember specifically like 5-6 days, I think it was 5 days. It was that following weekend or that following week where I started talking about the Snyder Cut. And, you know, if you go back to my videos, you'll see that. But we got new art right here. We got a new candidate when it comes to Batman, the DCU Batman. We got Job Hutz right here, and I love his artwork. And he decided, hey, you know what? If we're going to do an older Batman, why not bring somebody into the mix that tried to get the Batman role at one point, and that is Mr. Scott Adkins. Look at these right there. Scott Adkins Batman. You know, I wouldn't hate it. Dude's got a good, you know, he's got a good jawline, he's got a good mouth, and he's got a good build. I mean, the dude's still keeping up. He's still kicking ass. Still, you know, still doing a bunch of movies. And he actually could do a lot of the moves, too. The dude's, like, trained and everything. But I thought this was not bad. And I love the fact that he's still using the big bat on the chest right there. But would not hate it. Would not hate it. Don't think it's going to happen, but you know, Scott Adkins, I think he's pushing 50, but he's still looking pretty good. I follow him on Twitter, and I'm just like going, the guy's still kicking ass and still taking names. Still looking good. Still looks good with his shirt off for sure. And, man, I mean, I tell you, woo-wee. We'll see what happens. Who the hell is Scott Adkins? Look him up. My clown said that. You're one of the pillars of the movement. That's right, man. Yeah, it was a couple people that said that. It was weird. I was like, dude, where are you guys getting this from? And then one of the guys, like I said, one of the guys in my mentions is like, there's a video of you that shows you saying the Snyder Cut doesn't exist. And I was like, I'll find it, but don't be embarrassed. And I'm like, I'll be over here on the edge of my seat. And then I showed a screenshot of when I started talking about the Snyder Cut, which was like not even a week after Justice League came out. And yeah, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for this video. Still waiting for this video where I said the Snyder Cut doesn't exist. It's good stuff. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. And then we got... Well, I mean, I got to comment on this. This is not movie related, but woo-wee. You guys know who's my favorite band? Who's my favorite band, guys? You guys know who my favorite band is, and that is the Foo Fighters, and which of course is led by the greatest rock star of all time, Mr. Dave Grohl. And Dave Grohl. But it's funny because Dave Grohl, he is the greatest, like one of the greatest rock stars, obviously. And everybody always calls him, he's the good guy in rock. He's the good guy in rock. He's always been titled that. But sadly, Dave Grohl, he's been a little naughty, been a little bad, because I'm sure some of you saw this yesterday, but he had to release a little statement on Instagram. I've recently become the father of a new baby daughter born outside of my marriage. I plan to be a loving and supportive parent to her. I love my wife and my children, and I'm doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. We're grateful for your consideration toward all the children involved as we move forward together. I got another confession to make, which was the running joke. I saw that joke so many times. But yeah, so good guy, you know, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, he's got the role of good guy rock star. I'm like, well, he's still a good guy, but let's face it, you know, if you're a rock star, is there any rock stars, any big rock stars that have ever like gotten married, started a family, and have been faithful, or have stood the test of time? I'm just kind of wondering, because my second favorite band and my second favorite rock star, lead singer, guitar player, James Hetfield, same thing. He cheated on his wife. They're not together anymore. But it's just like one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I don't even know how you last 21 years. He's been married 21 years. And I'm just kind of going, I don't know how you lasted that long. And I'm sure he's probably cheated before. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like, you're a rock star, you're a big rock star, and you're touring all over the place. How do you even try to do the whole marriage and family thing? I mean, I guess it's just built in our DNA and people just want to do that, but I'm just like going, man, how do you even try to do that? I mean, we got what? What's his name? Mick Jagger. Didn't he have a kid at like 70 something years old? Didn't he have a kid like not too long ago? I mean, I don't know how many marriages he's been involved with, but I know he's got like kids like crazy. I mean, it's interesting. It's just interesting, but it's just like, man, when I read that, I was like, oh no, not Dave Grohl. But it's like, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do here? Has Paul McCartney, John Bon Jovi, are we sure about that? Are we sure about all that? I don't know. We'll see, but yeah, it's just interesting. But you know what? Kudos to Dave Grohl for getting ahead of it. Because obviously this just happened. I don't know how recent, but I'm pretty sure it's recent. And he got ahead of it and he was like, you know what? I might as well put a statement out there and just get it over with, rip the Band-Aid off, and before it just like comes out. So yeah. Dude's been, when it comes to Dave Grohl, he's had a rough couple of years. Let's face it, he's had a rough couple of years. I mean, in 2022, he lost his best friend, which is Taylor Hawkins, the drummer of Foo Fighters. Lost him and lost his mother in the same year, within months of each other. So, had a rough one. And then, of course, trying to keep the Foo Fighters going. And God knows what's going on with this marriage, too. I mean, it could have been, who knows? We don't know the details. Obviously, we just know that he stepped outside of his marriage. We don't know if she did. Maybe she did at one point. Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. But, man, the dude is a girl dad because he already had 3 daughters with his wife, and now he's got a 4th daughter. I mean, he's just producing daughters. But I'm just kind of going like, did you wrap it up, dude? Or did you think you didn't have swimmers because you're 54 years old now? Something, I don't know. Anyways. Still love him. Never going to not love Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters. So, hasn't changed my mind. That's for sure. Anyways, and then Jesus Christ. And then speaking of music, because obviously we talked about how Linkin Park has like a new singer. Did you guys see this right here too? Who, Chester Bennington's son, apparently is not all about what's going on when it comes to Linkin Park. And the new singer, Emily Armstrong, said, there's a lot of people who do not like me. There are a lot of people saying some really awful shit right now to me. All these people come over to me and go, you don't know what your dad would think. You're coming over to my posts and my live streams and telling me to kill myself, that I'm awful, that my father doesn't appreciate me. What are you talking about? You didn't give a fuck when he died. If you did, you would understand what the problem is. You would understand why this is all wrong. I do, because I'm his kid. So then we got Chester's kid that is not liking what Linkin Park's doing, which I kind of understand. And then I didn't realize, because some people actually responded to that and were like, oh yeah, his kid thinks that Chester did not commit, did not unalive himself. He thinks that Chester was actually, offed by the establishment and all this stuff, which I have fallen down those conspiracy rabbit holes. I've fallen down those rabbit holes. There's even one for Chris Cornell, too. When, let's face it, sometimes you could fall down those conspiracy rabbit holes when it comes to rituals and weird stuff, when it comes to the music industry and all that. Yeah, it is interesting. So, I mean, apparently, like, his kid thinks that he did not unalive himself, that he actually, so there's also that stuff too. And I'm just kind of going like, well, how do we know? You know, we sit here and think we know the whole story about everything. Just like just talking about the Dave Grohl thing. We only know just what they give us. You know, there could be more to it. There just could be more to it. I don't know. But all I'm saying, I've never been really a Linkin Park fan. I think Emily Armstrong in some of the songs sounds actually pretty damn good when it comes to the songs that I know from Linkin Park. I think she's kind of pulling it off. And there was no way that they were just going to start like a new band. They're going to use the Linkin Park name because that's what's going to sell the tickets. Maybe he just doesn't like that. Yeah. I don't know. Then, okay, back to movie stuff. We got Michael B. Jordan. He's set to direct the Thomas Crown Affair for MGM Studios. So a third remake of the Thomas Crown Affair, because you got the original, you got the Pierce Brosnan version, and I'm assuming, is Michael B. Jordan going to be playing the lead also? Is he not just directing, he's also starring? I don't know. But I'm just like, okay, a third one for the Thomas Crown Affair. Next, they're just going to do a series. Surprised they're not doing a series now. And then we got Anya de Armas talking about Ballerina, which, hey, I'm looking forward to Ballerina, spinoff from the John Wick universe. We saw the Ballerinas in what? John Wick 2? 3? I think it was 3. Was it 3? Yeah. And I was very much looking forward to it because I'm like, okay, cool. And it got delayed like a year. So I was like, that's got us worried. She had this to say right here when it came to it. It's dangerous. It's sexy. Well, you're starring in it, of course. It's very John Wick. I think people are going to be surprised. I'm just waiting for that trailer. She says the trailer's coming out soon. So looking forward to that because, you know, Anya de Armas, she was hot when she was kicking ass in the last James Bond film, and I'm like, give me more of that. I'm all for that. And I thought this was funny right here. You want to see what Bebop and Rocksteady look like before the mutation? Wow! Hilarious. Patrick Mahomes. And, of course, Travis Kelce. What the fuck is Travis Kelce doing? I mean, dude, stick with a look, man. At least Mahomes. Mahomes is at least, like, sticking with his look, you know? But I don't know what Travis Kelce's doing. Jesus Christ. Oh, somebody tweeted that. Brandon, Strausing? He tweeted that. I said, Bebop and Rocksteady before the mutation. I was like, that's perfect. Good tweet right there. But I'm just like, what the fuck? I don't know what Travis Kelce, he's like got a new haircut too. I don't know. I don't know. The dude keeps on changing his look. It's all crazy. But yeah, people were spotting them. They were at, I think, the U.S. Open or something like that. You know, of course, Taylor's there and all that. And people were like, oh, my God, what's Taylor doing? She's, like, singing along. Like, no, she's having fun. Let her have fun. The girl likes to drink, and that's what's wrong with that. I fucking like to do that, too. She likes to drink and sing along to things and unwind. Let her unwind. I just don't know what the fuck Travis... What the hell was that look? You know, wearing that fucking Gilligan's Island hat and then, of course, it's like, all right, going back to just the mustache and then his hair. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, hey, you know. Guy's making $1 kajillion right now. Oh, we got more of this right here. So on Monday's show, I did show you this. So when it comes to Zack Snyder's Justice League, there was concept art. There is concept art out there from Konstantin Sakaris. And I showed you on Monday's show that he released some concept art when it came to Tomar Green Lantern. And of course, we've been talking a lot about Green Lantern. Now we have better ones. So initially, this is what we saw at first with some of this right here. And it was just like, okay, cool. You know, costume looks cool. But then he released these right here, which look a little better, a little more texture, a little bit more to this concept art right here. And yeah, I mean, crisp. Look at that Tomar ass. Everything looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. So I think the initial ones were like, okay, just kind of like, you know, going to design it. And then, of course, add that little texture right there to the Green Lantern costumes. And, you know, and speaking of Green Lantern costume, it looks like a good Green Lantern costume that was in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Let's hope that happens, you know, somewhere else. Okay. Judd Apatow will direct Cola Wars, and also it's going to be produced by Steven Spielberg. The movie is said to tell the true story. I'm sure it's going to be 100% true because everything's true, right? When it comes to movies and biopics and everything. It's going to tell the true story of Pepsi's attempt to challenge Coca-Cola's century-long reign as the world's top cola. Why do they... Okay, so why... Okay, so you show two cans right there. Why show the zero sugar can right there? Why? You know, just show the regular can. Why the zero sugar can? You know, if you're going to drink a Coke, just get the fucking full-on Coke, okay? Don't get the zero sugar. That's right. I'm watching my health. I'm like, no. If you're watching your health, you don't drink fucking soda, okay? That's the thing. I would even say that, you know, you might as well just drink the regular one. You start drinking the diet version, the zero sugar one, you're just getting more bullshit into the soda. If you're actually trying to be health conscious, don't drink soda. Sorry. Rant over. That should be interesting, though. I'm a Coca-Cola guy. My Mama Film Junkie. I don't know if she's out there, but Mama Film Junkie was all about Pepsi. Mama Film Junkie was all about Pepsi and RC Cola. That's right. You guys remember RC Cola? I think it's still out there. Royal Crown, which is a liquor. It's a fucking whiskey, I think, right? But she was all about Pepsi and RC Cola. And then, of course, Happy Gilmore 2 is filming right now. And, well, I mean, we already talked about that. But, you know, obviously we know that, well, first off, Bad Bunny is actually going to be in it. And then, of course, there's going to be Julie Bowen is returning. And then, of course, Christopher McDonald is going to be returning as Shooter McGavin, which we already kind of assumed that. I don't think anybody thought that they weren't going to show up. I mean, maybe Julie Bowen wouldn't show up, but we already knew because Adam Sandler talked about that he, you know, and Christopher McDonald on a podcast actually revealed that, oh yeah, we're doing Happy Gilmore too. What the hell, you know? So, that's cool. Drinking Coke. Pepsis. Oh, wow. There's somebody named Pepsis in the freaking chat. That's pretty hilarious. What the hell? Is that even working? It is working, I guess. Why does it say... All right. I don't know. Stuff's weird. No, I was just looking at the Twitter feed. That Twitter feed. Just looking at that Twitter feed. That's all. Making sure it's working. I'm also live on TikTok right now. It is kind of interesting that I'm also linked up to TikTok. No, there's already been like people that have actually tuned into it a little bit. That's what's weird about TikTok. TikTok like pushes the shit out there. It's weird. Nobody's commented, but it's already gotten some significant views, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, but that's besides the point. All right. Let's talk about some DCU news, guys. Let's talk about this. Have you ever tried Jack and Pep? I probably have. I mean, I've had Jack and Cokes like crazy, obviously, but there's probably been a Pepsi in there every now and again. So, but yeah, I just always been a Coca-Cola guy. I don't know. It's just sweeter in my eyes. I just always thought it was sweeter when it came to that. So, all right. Let's see here. Let's go over some of the random bullshit when it comes to the DCU. Not much has happened. of course. So we got a couple of things. First thing I'm going to talk about when it comes to the DCU, we got David Denman. That's right, David Denman. Some people might recognize him from The Office and even Brightburn. When it came to James Gunn's Brightburn, he was in there. He is playing a character that we don't exactly know who he's playing when it comes to Peacemaker Season 2. There was a video that was posted showing him getting into like makeup status, and this is all it is right here. It's that creepy music right there that's on TikTok. Just another day at the office. This has gotta fucking like be kind of scary. If you're claustrophobic and you're doing this kind of stuff, I mean, you only have those nose holes just to breathe out of right here. See, that's it. Just doing that. All right, that's it. And it's like I don't think anybody really knows exactly who he's playing. Anybody got any guesses? I mean, obviously it's like, gotta be a villain type. But it's like nobody knows what he is playing. And I'm even looking under there. Somebody said Martian Manhunter. That would not go over well. I don't think he's playing Martian Manhunter, but yeah, I know. It's like, how do you even like, that's just, I mean, you really have to like get into a meditative state when you're doing that kind of stuff. I mean, my God, you have to get into a meditative state. You really do. And then things are happening over in the UK right now, and some creators that I've had on either the on the Vodka stream or creators that maybe will show up on the Vodka stream later, but you know, we follow each other. They are friends, and I've talked to them and stuff like that. And we got the Geek of Steel right here, who actually posted this first, and other ones have posted this as well. That they were basically, when it comes to what's happening over in London right now, there is the Batman Experience, and Tom, who was on a few weeks ago, who handles Hollywood Handle and everything like that, he's going to be posting some videos when it comes to showing what happened at the Batman Experience. Essentially, if you live over here, and I've been to the Warner Brothers tour over here, and you can tour all the crazy stuff, and they have a bunch of Batman, all the Batman costumes and all this kind of stuff, essentially similar to that. But at the Batman Experience, he spotted this right here, which was like, oh, hey, look at that. We got a big, huge poster of the Superman Legacy, which is no longer Legacy, a poster showing the date. Nothing too big or anything like that, but hey, you know, they had that posted up right there. So, hey, you got something, a little promotion, a little bit of marketing when it comes to Superman. And, you know, I love that S. That S, it's a good S. Taka, I like that S. That S is looking good. At first, I wasn't sure if I was going to like that S, but I like the S. I do. I definitely do, so. And let's see. Is that about? Let's see. I think was that all there was? Yeah, there's some, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I will say this, though. So we got Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, and everybody's like going, who's going to play Hal Jordan? Who's going to play Hal Jordan? Obviously, we got a short list when it came to Lanterns, and the biggest one was Josh Brolin was offered the role, and then all of a sudden we got Matthew McConaughey, we got Ewan McGregor, we got Timothy Olyphant, and then, of course, we had Chris Pine. So when it came to Josh Brolin, a lot of people were kind of, including me, I was kind of like, I don't know about this. And DCU Updates actually ran a poll that got about over 1,500 votes, and they asked, are you happy Josh Brolin passed on Hal Jordan? 90% said yes. Just kind of shows you right there that nobody was really excited about it. But yes. And then, of course, we have the Hollywood Reporter right here that posted an article that said, that said this very thing right here. Josh Brolin passes on HBO's Green Lantern TV show. Which is, it's fine. It's totally fine. And that's not the only thing that's mentioned here. I love how it just loosely, where is it at right here? It also says in this paragraph right here, the internet was abuzz at the project of Brolin playing Jordan. Yeah, they were at a buzz of not wanting him to actually play the role. Although it was never a sure thing. Speculation also arose around several other A-listers, but it's unclear how valid these rumors are. Matthew McConaughey, for example, will not be donning the ring, according to sources. It's a True Detective in space. Why would I want to do that? I was in True Detective. Why would I want to be in a green suit doing the same thing in space? It's not even going to be in space. It's going to be Earth-based. So yeah. So you can eliminate Josh Brolin and Matthew McConaughey. So who's going to take it out of the remaining three? We got McGregor, we got Pine, and we got Oliphant. You guys know my choice. Timothy Oliphant seems like the choice. They're all the remaining three. I'm glad that McConaughey and Brolin are out. I didn't really see them as that. But the other three, I'm good on. But I think Timothy Oliphant could be the guy. Just seems like that's the choice. It should be the choice. We'll see, though. We'll see. That's my pick. That's who I just think can actually do the role some justice. Pardon the pun, right? We'll see, though. Might not be any of them. Like I said, who knows? Like I said, the way that all the casting stuff with these movies and everything goes, they could have just been throwing out names and it puts a little pressure on them. I don't know. But we shall see. So now we got Colin Farrell. Oh boy, we got Colin Farrell right here. This kind of came out of left field because it seems like, obviously Colin Farrell being the Penguin was an interesting choice. It was a very interesting choice. And a lot of people were going like, what is he going to look like? There's a lot of concept art that just kind of shows Colin Farrell with a little bit of added prosthetics or whatever the hell when it comes to him being the Penguin. But then they just went full on like, hey, you're going to look like Gandolfini and we're going to add a lot to you where people are not even going to know that's actually Colin Farrell right there because, why not? Why not do that? But at the same time, some people were like, well, why even do that? But I think it works, and I think it works for the character, and I think it was a challenging role when it comes to Colin Farrell. But when it comes to the first Batman movie, he wasn't in it all that much. So when he had to get into the prosthetics and the makeup, not all that much. But when you're the star of a series, guess what? You're going to be in most of that series, so you're going to have to get into that getup all the time. You're going to have to be in that for months. And it looks like it got to Colin Farrell a little bit here. Colin Farrell complained on the Penguin set that I fucking want to be finished. Said after wrapping, I never want to put that fucking suit on again. Oh boy. Better hope there's not a season 2. But then of course we have the Batman 2. Here's his quote right here. I don't know, man. Don't get me wrong. I loved it, but it got in on me a little bit. By the end of it, I was bitching and moaning to anyone who would listen to me that I fucking wanted it to be finished. I tried to remind them that I had grumpy gratitude. I was still grateful and still honored. I grew up watching Burgess Meredith, who of course played the 66 Batman Penguin, and then Danny DeVito, who was my Penguin. So being a part of the lineage of that storytelling, I really did feel privileged. But by the end of it, it's not like I didn't know who I was and I was going out and burning cars and shit. But if you take that Matt Reeves created and then what Lauren, the showrunner, did and what Mike, who did, of course, is the makeup designer, did and put them all together, it was a really powerful experience. Lauren said, look, if I could find a way that makes sense, would you talk about it? And I said, absolutely. And maybe in a year I would. But when I finished, I was like, I never want to put that fucking suit and that fucking head on again. Hey, Makes sense. That shit had to be hot. Had to be pretty damn hot to be in all that. And then, of course, sit in that chair day after day after day. I mean, how many times have we heard that kind of stuff when you have to sit in a makeup chair? I mean, Colin Farrell did say that, at first it took like over 4 hours, but then they got it down to a science where it was actually 2 hours. That's still 2 hours, though, sitting in a makeup chair every day. And again, like I said, in the first Batman movie, he had a few scenes, couple of scenes, there wasn't a lot of scenes. But when you're the lead in the series, you're in every fucking scene, essentially. So that had to be grueling. And I'm sure, it just got to him. It got to him after a while. And, yeah, he's probably going to be like, okay, I got to do this again. He's going to get into that mindset because he is going to be in the Batman Part 2. And, I mean, who knows what's going to happen if there's going to be a Penguin Season 2. Who knows? There might not be. This might just be like a mini-series thing, and it was just like whatever. But he's probably hoping that there's not going to be a season 2. We'll see, though. So, that's got to be rough, man. It's got to be rough. It's got to be rough to sit in all that. So, but there you go, guys. That's pretty much all we got when it comes to DC stuff. There wasn't really much else besides those little things right there. So, not too shabby. So let's go on to the next topic right here. Oh boy. So we got Sofia Boutella. Sofia Boutella is going to be in The Killer's Game, which is coming out this week. I'm very much looking forward to the movie. But the thing that I'm kind of worried about is, Rebel Moon. She's, of course, the star in Rebel Moon. And in this interview right here, I mean, she kind of talks about the future of Rebel Moon, the possibility of the future, but the sad fact of the matter is like, we're like a month after the director's cuts come out, and there has yet to be a green light. There is yet to be a green light when it comes to Rebel Moon. So we have this article right here. The Killer's Game star Sofia Boutella talks her action respite and Rebel Moon character's future. Though the future of Zack Snyder's franchise is unclear, the actor shares some insights on where it was headed. It's a story of redemption all around. So, that's the thing. After devoting nearly an entirety of 2022 to her most physically demanding role yet as Cora, or Arthalius, in Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon, Boutella is relieved that she didn't have to bear the burden of being a primary action hero in Perry's action comedy. Yeah, so her Rebel Moon character also didn't have the greatest luck in romance department. Yeah, well, she had one awkward sex scene, and then, of course, there was the other one that wasn't as awkward. So, yeah, there is that right there. Let's see. Okay, so here we got this right here. We have this article right here, and this is what we're talking about right here. As for the future of Rebel Moon, nothing is official yet, but the prospects of Snyder's multi-film ambition aren't looking too promising after Netflix's recent regime change. The streamer is the only entity to overcome Wall Street's devaluation of streaming in the summer of 2022, but there have been numerous signals that it's joining its fellow streaming competitors to make fewer and fewer big-budget plays. And I've talked about that too. Yes, they are cutting it down. They are absolutely cutting it down when it comes to that. So, but she has to talk about it right here. In any event, Boutella is shedding some light on where Cora was headed, and she believes her already redemptive arc was putting her on the trajectory toward becoming a new redeemer. When she was abducted and adopted by the villainous Imperium as a little girl, Arthalius found hope in the myth of the original Princess Issa, who was regarded as the Redeemer. Through the tutelage of her adoptive father, Belisarius, I'm saying her name wrong, I already know I am, then grew up to become the gifted soldier until her father deceived her into assassinating the current Princess Issa for the sake of his own power grab. And while we may not see it completed on screen, the seismic event began her, of course, long road to redemption. And then she says right here, yeah, for sure, Boutella says, when asked if she believes Cora was slated to be the new Redeemer. It's a story of redemption all around, and she learned so much from that assassination moment when Issa tells her, "I forgive you." It was something that Arthelius did not understand at the time, but as the time went on, it gave her the strength to keep going and not kill herself or let herself be killed despite that amount of guilt. And then, of course, there's all that. And then, of course, she talks about more of it right here. And just like the little Q&A thing. And it was just like, yeah, there's more here. But the bad thing about it is, like, she's not even sure either. And I'm just kind of going like, damn it. And it's just kind of, you just kind of wonder, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? I mean, everything's up in the air. Of course, we have Geeked Week, and Zack is going to be at there, and they're going to be promoting the Rebel Moon game, apparently. We still got the Rebel Moon podcast, but I'm just kind of going like, I don't even know. Yeah, it just seems like things are not going to be moving forward, probably. Probably not going to happen. The experiment did not work. Sadly, it seems like that experiment of trying to do the whole, hey, we got these versions and then we got the Snyder Cut versions, didn't quite work out because nobody's really talking about it anymore. They have not greenlit Part 3, which sucks. But at the same time, if we only get Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, I mean, the way that it ends, yeah, it's a little bit of it's a cliffhanger, but, it's still one big, giant, cool little Zack Snyder heavy metal type of almost anime-ish-esque story that is really cool to watch. All right, so we got that, but we'll see what happens. But it just seems like, yeah, I'm starting to think that Rebel Moon is not going to continue. Doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. Sadly. So, I mean, it probably makes some of these assholes that continue just to be like talking about the DC stuff and the sell the Snyderverse and restore and all that stuff, they promote those hashtags like crazy. They barely gave a fuck about Rebel Moon, but, it's just sometimes the way it is, when it came to all that at least, but, it's whatever. It's just like, what are you going to do, I guess? What are you going to do? Do I really have a Spider-Man right there? I forgot that I meant to change that. I didn't change it. I didn't change any of my little icons. Well, one of them I did. Anyways, let's move on. Yeah, still have the box office. We're not going to talk about box office. We're going to talk about what's going to be coming out and what's going to be part of the box office this weekend. All right, so let's move on to what's coming out this weekend. What are we seeing this weekend? We going to the movies, huh? We got The Killer's Game, and we got Speak No Evil. We got two movies that I want to see both of them. And I'm kind of like going, God damn it, which one do I see? I do want to see both, but at the same time, I'm just looking at The Killer's Game going, this is like right up my alley. This is right up my alley right here. I'm going, it's a movie about hitmen. It's a crazy action movie. It's got a pretty cool cast, and it just looks like ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But Speak No Evil, I'm kind of going, oh yeah, we're in those months where, like, there's some more thriller horror things going on, and I'm just kind of going like, oh, this looks good too. So I'm kind of like going back and forth. I still think I'm gonna go see The Killer's Game. I don't know. It just, after seeing that R-rated trailer, I'm like, I think that's the movie I'm going to choose. For sure. So what are the reviews saying for The Killer's Game? And let's go to the Devil Fruit site right here. What are they saying about it? Womp womp. There is no reviews posted when it comes to The Killer's Game. Yeah, that's right. Not a good sign. Not exactly a good sign right there. But hey, I don't expect this movie to do anything else but just be entertaining. Right here. So yeah, I don't expect it, but, and then of course, so then when it comes to Speak No Evil, yeah, this one's running at 88% right now with 60 reviews. That's right. Critics are loving this one right here, and this is starting to make me go, maybe I should go see this one instead. I don't know. I'm still kind of deciding right here. And we got some reviews right here. The disconnect between two groups of people who barely know each other eventually sparks an unforgettably frenetic finale that both plays the senses like a grand piano and tickles the funny bone with menacing glee. Speak No Evil becomes an entertaining but routine horror flick with predictable results, but for a while, it's a way more intelligent film. There's a slightly dull edge to the remake, but intensity remains its spurts, with the endeavor coming alive when it concentrates on the stings of microaggressions. Watkins and his cast create a sense of tension that steadily and convincingly grows, a pit likely to form in the viewer's stomach as Patty and Sierra's intentions become clear. So a lot of good reviews here. Here's a bad one right here. For more than half of its nearly 2-hour length, nearly 2 hour, yeah, because 2 hours is so long, it plays more like the James McAvoy Variety Hour, which can be highly enjoyable if you do not mind one actor being the entire show. Yeah, so it seems like McAvoy, says right here, McAvoy is a memorable villain in a film that can barely hold him. An always entertaining dinner party guest you'd be happy to have over just so long as you were able to get him out the door before things turn sour. So it just seems like McAvoy steals every scene that he's in, and of course he's the star, so he's going to be in like most of the scenes. Well, I mean, obviously you got the other ones, it's probably going to start off not with him, so I'm like, oh man, I'm just kind of wondering, woo-wee, what are we doing here? So I'm just kind of going like, what do I see? What do I see? What do I see? So The Matrix and the Babadook have the same anniversary apparently because Fathom. Oh, there's also going to be the re-releases of those? Dude, there's like 12 movies releasing this weekend? I don't know. That sounds like hyperbole there, Jacob. Is there really 12? 12. Yeah, there's like my old ass. Looks like the 4:30 movie. Is that coming out this weekend too? Kevin Smith's movie, is that coming out too? I don't know. So I'm just kind of deciding like what's going on here. I'm like, I mean, I want to see the crazy action, weird hitman movie, but I'm also going, I kind of want to see this too. I'm like, am I in the mood? What am I in the mood for? And that's the thing. It's like I'm in the mood for both. And it was like, I'm like going, I got to pick one for tomorrow. And I don't know if, like I said, I only get to pick one movie a week. I only have time for one movie a week unless it's, something crazy. But I'm just kind of going like, geez, what do I do here? Literally everything I've heard about See No Evil is that James McAvoy is great and the characters are dumb. See? And then you got The Killer's Game, which all the characters are dumb, but it's just crazy action hitman stuff in an action comedy romance. I don't know. I'm like indecisive now. It's crazy, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't know. I have to make a decision soon. So then we got this crazy story right here. This one just came out of nowhere. When it comes to Rogue One and Peter Cushing showing back up in Rogue One as Tarkin. And I mean, that's what? How many years ago? It's what, 2017, 2016? I don't know, 2016, right? And this is all coming out and it's like, wow. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I saw it, but it's like, have you got, I mean, I'm sure most of you didn't even see this, but yeah, here we go. Peter Cushing's Star Wars Resurrection at center of a legal battle. The makers of Rogue One, the Star Wars story, is being sued by friend of Cushing, who claims the actor gave him control of his image rights before he died. That's right. So his family didn't have control. His friend? What? Peter Cushing's resurrection 22 years after his death for the spin-off film Rogue One, a Star Wars story, is at the center, of course, of the legal battle. Blah, blah, blah. Special effects were used to digitally recreate. Yes, we know. The makers of Rogue One are being sued by a film producer who is one of Cushing's oldest friends. Kevin Francis claims the actor agreed not to grant permission for anyone to reproduce his appearance through special effects without his authorization. The Disney Group, which made Rogue One, failed on Monday to have Francis's claim for unjust enrichment dismissed at High Court in London. In London. Let's see, what else we got? Of course, Cushing died of cancer in 1994. Francis's company, Tyburn Film Productions, is suing the Disney subsidiary, LucasFilm, which owns the rights to Star Wars, and Lunac Heavy Industries UK, the producer of Rogue One. He also brought claims against the executors of Cushing's estate, who have both died, and Associated International Management, the agency that represented Cushing until his death. Disney companies claim they did not believe permission was required to recreate Cushing because the terms of his contract in the original film and the nature of the special effects. However, after being contacted by Cushing's agent, they agreed a payment to the actor's estate of about £28,000 to clear the use of his appearance, the High Court was told. What the hell? Why did it take this long? 8 years later? Like, why did it take this long? That's what I'm kind of wondering. I'm like, shouldn't have this happened closer to that? Or was there just a lot of red tape, a lot of things that his friend had to go through? That's what I'm kind of wondering about this. I'm like, what are we doing here? This is interesting. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. But I'm just saying, like, good. Sue Lucasfilm. Fuck it. Sue those guys. Sue Disney. Do it. Why not? Why not do it? Just seems a little weird. There's a lot of things that are weird. Because, okay, they're talking about his estate. Okay. And then they're talking about previous contracts. Okay. But then, of course, now we got this dude, Mr. Francis right here. Francis! Saying that, no, I was in charge. He put me in charge. Okay? I was his oldest friend. Put me in charge. You fuckers, you weren't supposed to do this. You weren't supposed to do this. I don't think it's going to hold up. It just doesn't seem like it would. You know, it's like when it comes to like the previous contract and maybe it wasn't in the film that much. And again, the fucking thing came out 8 years ago. I'm like, don't think it's going to happen. But it was just very interesting to see that happening. So, I don't know. Very interesting. 8 years later. Sue it. But, yeah, probably won't hold up. But what can you do? All right. There you go. There's all the topics right there. Now, let's get to some Twitter questions. Of course, posted it on Twitter and see what you guys have to say over here. All right. All right, first off, we got Mr. Chili, ain't it? We got Axel right here. Hey, Dave, since you're a casual Batman fan, I thought I showed you this thing I made. Well, I'm not a casual Batman fan. I'm a Batman fan, but I've played a character called Casual Batman. The audio is from Lego Batman 2.
Sorry to wipe that grin off your face, Joker.
You're not sorry. You're not sorry at all.
Cool drawings. I like the all-black bat suit. That looks pretty cool. I like it. Good job, Axel. Then we got Eric. Hey, Dave, speaking of Zack's Netflix stuff, hear anything about the Las Vegas series? No. That's another thing. We're waiting on that. And, you know, to be honest, I'm still, even though I really enjoyed the director's cuts of Rebel Moon, I'm still more intrigued on what was happening in the Army universe than the Rebel universe. I'm hoping they're just going one project at a time, and if Twilight of the Gods works, the animation company can maybe go do the other one. P.S. You missed my and Jacob's membership chats. Sorry. It's all good. I appreciate you guys. But, yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't know. I don't know. I'm wondering. I'm like, Zack, just go to A24 and make your small movie. Just do that. Show people that you're the filmmaker that people don't think you are. Devon Wooter, hey Dave, do you think Chris Pine will be the new Hal Jordan? I mean, he could be, but I think, Timothy Olyphant's going to be the better choice. And what the hell is wrong with Sony report that the new Spider-Man, SpiderVerse movie is in? Yeah, again, that's from a scooper, so, and they already debunked it. So don't even worry. I wouldn't worry about that. Did you watch Rebel Ridge, Quentin Tarantino movie? Rebel Ridge, I haven't seen it yet. I hear good things, and I do want to watch that. Quentin Tarantino movies, what's your favorite scenes from them? Well, I mean, there's numerous favorite scenes, but, my favorite movie is Pulp Fiction. I think my second favorite is Reservoir Dogs. And then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and then, I don't know. Those are the top three right there, at least. Adrian Woodbanks. In my opinion, I believe firmly that Chris Pine is the perfect Hal Jordan, Green Lantern with the beard and all. Didn't hate the idea of Josh Brolin. At any rate, I hope that Hal is the Green Lantern of the DCU. I don't think he's going to be the Green Lantern. I think John Stewart is going to be the Green Lantern. I wouldn't hate Chris Pine at all. I think Chris Pine's a good choice too. I just think Timothy Olyphant is I don't know. I just think he's the best choice in my opinion. Mr. Nobody, hey Dave, what do you think about Mahershala Ali playing as John Stewart? I don't think that's going to happen. No, they want somebody younger. Mahershala, he's older. I mean, he doesn't look like he's older, but I don't think that would be, nah. Somebody even said Ray Fisher in my mentions earlier, too, and I'm like, I don't know about that either. I don't think Ray Fisher would actually want to go back to the superhero world, to be honest. But, you never know. I know DC wants someone younger, but he'd be great at it. And by the time he finishes playing John Stewart in multiple seasons, Green Lantern trilogy, and team-up films, shows, maybe Blade will start pre-production. There you go. You set up the good joke right there, and I like it. I like it. Darkness Under the Wind. Dave, question number 1, with Colin Farrell saying he wants to stop playing the role of Oz. He didn't say that. He just was... He was over it after, numerous days in the costume. Do you see him getting a send-off in the Batman Part 2? He could. I wouldn't be surprised. You know what? There probably is something where Oswald maybe does die in the Batman Part 2, and there's not going to be... I don't think there was ever an idea of having multiple Penguin seasons. I think it was just strictly supposed to be this one. Question 2, should the first MCU X-Men movie have Wolverine if Hugh Jackman is staying or not to be built up in regardless of who's playing him? Well, that's interesting because before I went live, I did see a rumor out there that did say that they aren't going to have Wolverine in the first round when it comes to the X-Men in the MCU because Hugh Jackman is going to still be playing Wolverine, his Wolverine, with things. Obviously, we got Secret Wars, probably going to be something. I mean, it just seems like, you come back, you're not going to come back for just one movie. So, but yeah, there was a rumor out there. There's also a rumor out there that they're not going to they're not going to have Wolverine at first when it comes to, and that's just dumb. That's just dumb. If you're going to have Wolverine be in the MCU and you're going to have Cyclops, you're going to have Jean, you're going to have Storm, you're going to have all of them, you just need a Wolverine in there just to mix things up. You just have to. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what happens when it comes to all that. Anyways. All right, guys. That's it for today's show. Members, I'll see you guys in a little bit. If you guys want to become a member, go ahead, and we're going to do a stream after this. And then, of course, Scott and I will be doing DC Fanimated tonight, talking some Batman, talking the Cult of the Cat episode tonight when it comes to the new Batman Adventures. So if you guys want to tune into that, that'll be right there. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel before you leave. Follow me on all the sock meds. Hit that like, thumbs up. Do all that. You guys are awesome. Obviously, look forward. Again, I was set on seeing the Killers game, but I might go see Speak No Evil. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But expect a first reaction review tomorrow with one of those two movies. We'll see which one it is. But yeah, we'll see. I'm indecisive right now. But if I don't see you tomorrow or later today, I'll see you guys on Friday for the Vodka stream. All right, guys, love you. Members, see you guys in a little bit. Talk to you later.